Well, hello. This is a special edition of Q&A Friday. Q&A Friday on my blog is not something that I do each and every week, but as I get questions from bloggers, I like to answer them perhaps in a more, thoughtful means than just simply doing it in the comments section of my blog, which you can certainly do. It's been a while since I've had a Q&A Friday, and I wanted to answer a question today that I've been asked. Actually, I had three different people ask me this very question within a 24-hour period of time, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to talk a little bit about it on this Friday blog post. Usually on Fridays, when I do a Q&A Friday, I don't do a video, but I was unable to post a video yesterday, so I thought I'd make up for it today and just talk about it. So the question that I was asked this week by a number of people is about my reading. I tend to read a lot of books and had some questions about how do you read so much? Can you give us some of your methods and discuss a little bit about how you go about reading so regularly. So I I'm always surprised when people say that I read a lot because my dad is a way more avid reader than I have been. He will read books in a day, which I don't know if I've ever done that, at least not any sizable books. Um, he's got a library about 5 to 6 times as large as mine, and so I've never really thought of myself as an avid reader, at least in comparison to him. But I read about 1.5 to 2 books a week. And if you want to know what I'm reading, you can unfollow on this blog. Usually once a month at the beginning of the month, I will do a book blurb section where I highlight most of the books that I've read this past month, and I give them ratings and give you a little bite-sized idea of what they're about. But why I read or how I read that much in a week? Well, back in college and seminary, I made a point. I wanted to discover about myself as it relates to reading how many pages was too little and how many pages was too much for a day. And that took some research and obviously trial and error. But I discovered during those years of my education that about 40 to 60 pages was my limit. So what I have done over the years is when I need to read a book or books, I'll get that book down. I will open the table of contents and I will divide it up. I'll get my planner out and I will write up that I'm going to read 15 pages from this book on Monday. And tomorrow I'm going to read another 15 pages. I usually don't try to take awkward breaks within those sections. I'll usually extend it out to the end of the chapter if possible, or a reasonable break place in the book. But on any given day, I'm probably reading 2 to 3 books, maybe 9 to 10 books at any given time I've got open that I'm looking at. But one of the things that's really helped me over the years is I don't read really for long extended periods of time. Some people might be surprised by that. I only read for maybe 10 to 15 minutes at any given time. Now I may do that up to 10 times a day. But I have looked for pockets of what could be wasted time, and I read during those pockets of 10, 15 minutes. So if I have 30 minutes before a meeting, I might pick up a book and read. If I wake up before everybody else in the house, I might pick up a book and read. I've read books after I've taken a shower and I'm just drying off. I look for wasted time like that where I could be doing a lot of other frivolous things and I just decide to read for 10 minutes. Um, I also have a reading schedule. I have books on a list or in a list that I want to read. Right now, I've got 240 books that I want to read that I just kind of prioritize as best I can. Sometimes that book schedule gets modified if I'm going to be preaching something in the near future that I think a particular book might give me some insights. I might put that to the top of the list or add it to the list. So the book reading schedule is something I refer to often, but I just really stick with it. I'm a regular reader. I probably have not had a day, that I can even remember where I haven't been reading something. I came across a quotation from Francis Bacon today, and I've already posted it on social media, where he says, "Some books are to be tasted, others are to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. That is, some are to be read only in parts, others to be read but not curiously, and some few to be read wholly and with diligence and attention. And I would agree with that. I don't. I have different books that I read for different reasons. Some I'm kind of skimming the surface and I want to get some general ideas. Some that I'm reading more slowly and thoroughly. Some I don't even finish reading. I will not waste time reading a book that's no good for me, that's not helpful. And if I get a few chapters into it and that author has not explained himself or herself well, I will put the book down and move on. But for me, reading is a hobby. It is a way that I relax. It's something that's more than education or edifying, it's enjoyment. So when I want to release from the noise of life, reading is one of those things that I do. So I hope some of these ideas and thoughts help you a little bit if you are wanting to be more of a regular reader. I would say, just generally speaking, to be a regular reader, you need to plan to be a regular reader. It doesn't just happen. It's like any discipline. You have to work at it. You have to do it over and over and help create a habit. And the only way to create a habit is by just regularly doing it. And so maybe find some pockets of time throughout the day, 10 or 15 minutes, where you know that you typically don't know what to do, or maybe end up wasting time during that, and pick up a book and read. And certainly be more than willing to make some book recommendations for different genres if you're interested. I typically am a person who reads nonfiction. I don't read a lot of fiction. I've just never really gotten a lot out of fiction books. I want things that are real, I guess, when I read. So I'm different when it comes to movies. I like movies that are crazy and sensational and don't make any sense. But when it comes to reading, I want to read something that I know is real. So just a personal preference, but I'm happy to give some recommendations if you're interested. Hope this has been helpful. Have a great weekend, everyone.